As one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when moving to Colorado is they spend months looking at houses and almost no time figuring out where they should actually live. And the crazy thing is, you could have two families move here the exact same budget and have completely different experiences. And most of the time, it has nothing to do with the house itself. It's actually the lifestyle that people buy into when choosing their area. Look, Denver isn't one lifestyle. It's a bunch of different little lifestyles packed into one metro. My name is Patrick Laurienti with Alight Group, and my team and I help people relocate to Denver all the time. And today, I want to walk you through what living here actually feels like, where the growth is happening, and how to figure out which version of Colorado actually fits you. And stick with me to the end, because I'm going to tell you who should not move to Denver. Look, when people search living in Denver, Colorado, a lot of you assume there's one answer, but there just isn't. I mean, one of the first questions I ask relocation clients is not actually about bedrooms, bathrooms, or even budget. What does your life actually look like? Do you travel, work from home? Do you have kids like myself? How bad do you want that walkability? Love mountains? Or maybe you want acreage. All of that, guys, determines where you should live. I've seen buyers focus entirely on the house and a budget that fits. And then 6 months later, they realize they don't love where they live. And then I've had other clients buy incredible mountain properties. The river literally run through their front yard. And then they called me a few years later wanting restaurants, coffee shops. They wanted to be smack dab in the middle of Denver. The lifestyle changed. Guys, that's why I tell people all the time, don't just shop for a house, shop for the life you're actually trying to build. And guys, here's how the Denver Metro actually breaks down. So first up, we've got downtown Denver. This is for people who want walkability, restaurants, nightlife, and convenience. But you're probably trading space, parking, yard size, and quiet to get that convenience. Bringing you to the west side, you've got Golden, Arvada, Lakewood. This is for my people who want mountain access while still having a social life. You feel the foothills pulling you a little harder out there. Now the South Metro, talking Littleton, Parker, Castle Rock, Highlands Ranch, is where a lot of families, professionals, and business owners end up. You have more room to breathe. You've got parks, practices, grocery runs, dinner with friends. And then on the east side, a completely different feel. Painted Prairie, Aurora Highlands, these are growth corridors. This is definitely for the buyers who want newer homes, DIA access, and definitely long-term growth. Bringing you up to the North Metro, Brighton, Erie, Broomfield, these areas are going to offer you so much more breathing room. Like, life just slows down. So guys, when somebody asks me, what's it like living in Denver? My answer is, depends on which Denver you're talking about. Before we even get into where you should live, let me tell you what living here actually feels like day to day, because it's not always what the highlight reels show you. Guys, as a Colorado native, my favorite thing about Colorado is the weather. I mean, you get 4 seasons, sunshine, and my favorite, summer evenings. Like, you can't beat a summer evening in Colorado. And then even in winter, I mean, you get random 60-degree days. Guys, I didn't break out my snowblower once in the winter of 2025. And then even when it does snow, it usually melts the next day. So guys, people imagine Colorado's mountains, hiking, skiing, and outdoor adventures. But what most people don't realize is the lifestyle isn't just about the mountains. It's about how much time you actually spend outside. Here's the reality most relocation buyers don't think about. You're probably going to spend way more time in your community than you are in the mountains. Like, as a dad with 3 kids, we're not heading to downtown every weekend. Like, we're living life where we are. Schools, sports, parks, restaurants, friends, community. We just live in Brighton. In all reality, that's what most families actually end up doing. But the thing most people underestimate is the cost of living. Colorado, it's not cheap anymore. You guys know this, right? Like, housing, insurance, restaurants, everything costs more than it did 10 years ago. Now, for most people, trade-off is completely worth it, but it's a trade-off you gotta understand before you get here. And guys, that's what we help people with all the time. Like, it's not just finding the right fit for your lifestyle, the perfect house and budget, but also like helping you understand, like, what's the cost of living? What's it actually like living here? We encourage you guys, as you're doing your research, let us help you save time, reach out, and let's have these conversations. No commitment. We just want to make sure you guys are supported in your research. Now, let's get to the comparison of living in downtown versus the suburbs. And guys, here's a question so many people are asking. Is downtown Denver dying? The answer is no. It's really not. But here's what I will say. It is evolving. Downtown isn't the same place it was 10 years ago, but it's also not dead. It's incredible. I mean, it's such a walkable downtown. I mean, Lohi is incredible. And then you got neighborhoods neighborhoods like Wash Park, Sloan's Lake, Rhino, Gregor Square. Like, you have to visit these places. There's a reason people keep talking about them. Now, I'm not going to pretend downtown feels exactly like it did 10 years ago, because it doesn't. When COVID hit, remote work hit, patterns shifted, some blocks got quieter, and a lot of locals started saying, man, downtown doesn't feel the same. And they're not wrong, because it doesn't. But here's what I think a lot of people miss. Denver didn't stop growing. The energy just started spreading in ways we weren't used to. All those remote workers that used to live and eat and play downtown, now working outside of their house. Denver, of course, was always going to change, which brings me to the next biggest growth story, the burbs. Hi guys, now most locals like myself, we stopped spending every week in downtown. Most suburban areas are amenity rich. So you have everything you need in your own little city. And guys, that's why we have families moving to the burbs non-stop. And these suburbs are not what people used to think of as suburbs. I mean, you got all kinds of restaurants, shopping, trails, parks. I mean, not to mention, you got a ton of local breweries. In some suburbs, like Highlands Ranch, for example, has multiple rec centers, 4 to be exact. And guys, this is exactly why choosing the right suburb is often more important than choosing the right house. But picking the right suburb is only half of it, because inside of these areas, there's one decision that trips up almost every buyer I work with. Let's talk about one of the biggest housing decisions buyers face today. Do we buy new construction or resell? Personally, guys, I absolutely love construction right now. The incentives are absolutely incredible in a high rate environment. I mean, guys, I've helped countless buyers secure rate buy downs, closing costs, appliances, backyard landscaping. These are opportunities that just don't exist on the resale market. But here's the mistake I see people make, is that a lot of buyers only look at the incentive, but you have to look at the entire picture. I'm talking taxes, insurance, HOA fees. Is it in a metro district? And we have to look at your total monthly payment. And the listing price isn't going to tell you which one of those. Some new builds, guys, have metro district taxes. I mean, that offsets a big chunk of your incentives. And that lower sticker price starts looking a lot different once I'm able to help my buyers uncover the full payment. So guys, please make sure before you walk into a builder, have a high level professional guiding you through the process. Now on the resale side, you might get more mature landscaping, larger lots, lower taxes, and a bit more established neighborhoods. But resale is going to come with older systems. You got renovation costs, potential inspection surprises, and in today's market, you got higher rates. There is no one right answer. Believe me, I wish there was. But the reality is the right answer depends on your lifestyle, where are you commuting, and ultimately your long-term goals. Guys, that's why we spend so much time helping buyers look at both before they fall in love with the listing photo. But even after you figure out new versus resale, where that home actually sits can make or break your entire week. Now, what's a moving to Denver video without talking about the commute? Look, a Denver commute can look harmless on a map and still quietly steal your week. The whole question of how far am I from downtown, it just doesn't cut it anymore. The job stopped being just in downtown Denver. People work downtown in DTC, near the airport. I mean, we're talking Anschutz up toward Boulder, from home, hybrid, everywhere in between. And the real question is, where are you actually going 3 to 4 times a week? If you're coming out from Parker or Castle Rock heading to DTC and you time it right, great. But if you time it wrong, guys, get ready. You got to queue up that long podcast. Now, if you're living on the east side, closer to the airport, your day to day is going to look completely different. I mean, you've got people running to DIA all the time. And for a lot of you buyers, being farther from the foothills isn't really a downside, because the airport and where you work are right there. Now, if mountains are important to you, here's what you guys need to know. Getting up to the mountains takes planning. If you wait till Saturday morning to head out on I-70, you're going to be sitting in traffic with everyone else who had the same idea. And guys, the people who get the most out of living here always leave early. You have to set your alarm, get out of the house for 5 a.m. Or better yet, call up your boss, or if you're an entrepreneur like myself, take the day off and go up during the week. Guys, the commute and drive can make or break whatever location you pick. And guys, this is something we can help you with before you even move here. The commute and drive, being as important as it is something we help relocation buyers figure out before you fall in love with the house in the wrong location. So guys, call us, text us, or email us. Info is in the description and on the screen. We'll help you pressure test the drive before you commit. Now, even when you know the location, Colorado has a few costs that blindside almost everybody. And I want to walk you through them so that you don't have those unexpected surprises. surprises. The most Colorado part of owning a home here is the stuff you don't notice until it starts costing money. Now, first up, guys, is the Denver weather. It's my biggest pro, but you gotta know this. The amount of times I've left the house without a jacket and regretted it by lunch, or I left with a jacket and by 2 p.m. I'm scrambling trying to find the sunscreen. Guys, these are 2 lessons that you'll have to learn twice a year, every year, coming from a native. The next cost is gonna be the altitude. Denver sits at 5,280 feet and you will feel that. I mean, I have friends that were natives here, born and raised, moved out after high school, came back and still got hit with altitude. It just is Colorado. You're going to have family coming to visit from out of state and suddenly everyone is moving slower, blaming the stairs like the stairs did something wrong. And eventually you're going to become the one telling your family, drink more water. And that right there, guys, is how you know Colorado has officially changed you. In Colorado, guys, hail matters. I mean, roof age, gutters, windows, insurance, these are not side notes. I mean, they're going to show up on inspection. You're going to have to get quotes for them. You got to take account to these things in your long-term budget. So how old is the roof? What does insurance quotes look like? Is wildlife exposure part of the conversation? These are all the not so fun parts about Colorado that are just a piece of the puzzle that you have to put together. Now, guys, the people who do well here aren't always the ones with the biggest budget, but they are the ones who understand what Colorado homeownership actually asks from you. Which brings me to the question I promised I'd answer. Is Colorado actually right for you? And who should think twice before making the move? To be quite frank, I think Colorado works for a lot of different people. The people who thrive here, though, they tend to be intentional. These are the folks that understand their budget, understand their lifestyle, and you choose a location that supports both. Now, the people who struggle here usually aren't struggling because of Colorado. You're struggling because you chose the wrong fit. So that begs the question, who should not move to Denver? Because if you need everything to be cheap, if you want zero traffic, and you're not willing to plan around the weather or drive a little, you're going to fight this place the whole way. And that's okay. That's the whole reason you're here. There's a lot to relocating. And so that's why we do these videos, so you guys can understand this. Now, look, Colorado has city life, suburban life, mountain life, rural life. You can find almost anything here. The key is figuring out which version fits you. I have a relocation client coming into town, and before they ever got on the plane, we spent time on Zoom sharing maps, talking through commute patterns and priorities, and we helped them narrow down the areas that fit best for them. So if you're on the fence about moving here, my advice is simple. Get clear on your budget, get clear on your priorities, and spend as much time researching communities as you do researching homes. And guys, the bonus hack here is do it with a high-level professional, guys. I'll save you countless hours on YouTube and articles just by hopping on a quick Zoom. Think about it. You do all this research and you kind of have an idea of like where you would want to go, but it's not until you actually like get here and talk with somebody who knows these different areas and can weigh them against what's important to you that you really do a lot with the research you have. Now look, if Denver was one lifestyle, it'd be so much easier to do the research by yourself, but it's not. It's multiple lifestyles, and that's what actually makes this place so great, guys. I mean, mountain access, walkability, you have master plan communities, acreage properties, family-oriented suburbs. You can find almost anything here. The goal isn't finding the best areas. The goal is finding the right area for you. And guys, that decision is exactly what my team is going to help you with. So if you're thinking about relocating in Colorado, call, text, or email us. Info is in the description. We'd love to help you build a strategy and narrow down your options to make sure you end up in the right version of Colorado. Now, the journey doesn't stop here, guys. I'm going to put the next video you should see on the screen right now so you can do deeper research of some of the suburbs and neighborhoods around Denver, Colorado. All the content you need is right here on this channel. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Cheers.